Let's start with a content format that we're talking about everywhere at the moment: presentations. Generative AI tools are capable of creating structured and coherent content on a given topic. They can also suggest logical transitions between slides and help you formulate key points. A teacher can thus ask to prepare a presentation on a given subject. The model then generates a structured speech with slides to meet the teaching needs and the objectives that the presentation must achieve. It would even be possible to ask the content generation tool to document the course session plan, the objectives and the learning levels worked on. Well fed, it could even help you express your educational desire. A persuasion structure that I use in all my training: the what, why, and how. Generation tools can also summarize complex texts into targeted and understandable reading sheets. They can highlight and, if necessary, popularize the main points, themes, and key arguments, thus facilitating the student's understanding and revision of learning content. A teacher could thus ask to summarize a book or a complex research article to generate a reading sheet that highlights the content according to the needs of the course while optimizing the learning load. For case studies, these content generation tools can produce scenarios based on given parameters, provide insightful analysis, and suggest possible solutions. This can help students develop their critical thinking and problem-solving skills. A teacher can then ask to generate a case study on a real or even fictional company. The model could then create a scenario in which that company faces a specific challenge in a given context or environment to meet the educational alignment needs of the course. It would thus be possible to imagine real-false case studies that would be much more aligned with the lesson plan, educational objectives, and learning levels. These content generation tools can therefore create realistic scenarios for much more immersive learning if the teacher is able to feed their knowledge base. They can also provide constructive and tailored feedback based on students' responses, helping them learn through experience. Depending on the LMS you teach with, some, like Moodle, can automate the display of this feedback based on the students' responses and results. The content is then displayed to continue learning or implement in-depth strategies when necessary. We then naturally approach the question of evaluations with the design of so-called self-supporting questions to evaluate the lowest levels of learning, without being limited to memorization. Indeed, content generation tools can vary the difficulty and format of the questions. Single or multiple choices to several click-and-drop formats and up to calculated questions. We'll talk about this in another video to see together how these AI tools can help you guarantee the authenticity and integrity of the evaluation. If you work with an LMS like Moodle, certain tools are capable of writing questions, instructions, and their feedback, but above all, developing the integration code for you, as in our case, a Moodle XML format. Simply copy the generated content into a file to import it into Moodle and import as many questions as necessary into its question bank. Generation tools can thus create a variety of exercises to reinforce learning. In addition to these examples of self-supporting assessments, they can help you imagine complex assessments to aim for higher levels of learning. Bloom's taxonomy has also already been revised by several learning experts to integrate the contributions of AI. We will talk about it later if the question interests you. To continue with the axis of evaluation with a new example, these content generation tools can help you prepare for debates by generating arguments for and against a given question. They can this time help you develop students' critical thinking and argumentation skills. In short, there are no real limits, and the scenarios can be endless. It's now up to you to be imaginative and master the art of the prompt to choose and tame your content generation tool according to your needs. Let's not forget that everything the teacher produces and imagines for his course must be pedagogically aligned with the lesson plan, objectives, and learning levels. To do this, it's important to be able to feed generative AIs with the right documents so that the content produced is aligned. We'll look at this and all the issues it generates in a future video. To end this video, I wanted to go back to what a language model is to avoid confusion between model and generative tool. Language models are essential for different applications, including chatbots, translation, writing, and generally content creation, whether we include images, video, music, or voice. A model can understand and generate natural language. Its main function is to converse with humans in a more natural way, using textual data to learn and improve its performance. The most popular model is GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer, developed by OpenAI. It can generate coherent and contextually relevant texts. GPT was trained on a large amount of text data. This allows it to understand natural language and generate texts that are similar to those written by humans. Claude, developed by Google, is a model specialized in generating high-quality texts. Claude was trained on a set of textual data selected for its quality and consistency, allowing him to produce texts that are not only coherent, but also well-written and informative. Llama, on the other hand, is a powerful model that trains on a massive set of texts from the internet, allowing it to understand and generate natural language. Llama has been used for different applications including content creation, translation, and copywriting. It was my favorite model because now we have Mistral, which offers comparable performance to Llama, with a significant reduction in the computing power required to run it. It sounds like the new French reference that's tending to become the leader in the open-source space of large language models with exceptional performance and functionality, according to the experts.